Alright guys, welcome back again to more Trails Through Daybreak. We managed to help save Catra from those, I forgot their actual official names, but those earthquaking worms that give you a hard time and could kill you in like, less than 2 or 3 hits if you keep laying them. But, yep, we got done with that and we're going to continue on from there, guys. So if anything else, I hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for your love and support. And here we go. Alright, Aerotram time? Let's go!
This is the Aerotram, operated by the city of Basel.
Institute of Science.
When boarding the Aerotram, whoa! We're so high up!
This is kinda nice.
It's the kind of thing you'd only find here. Professor Hamilton designed this, right?
Oh, I'm impressed you knew.
Is something wrong?
Not at all. It's just that while I've heard about everything here, seeing the whole world with your own eyes for the first time is without doubt an unparalleled experience.
I know what you mean. I feel the same way after diving into the world of a good book for the first time.
Here we are, the Basel Institute of Science, the place where much of the Republic's most cutting-edge research gets done. It's situated in such a beautiful location too. The views of the canyon from here are just stunning. Yeah, this area is supposed to be popular with tourists for exactly that reason, though even they need a card right now. This isn't that bad of a spot to sightsee, I guess, but there's no real place to live it up in town. Oh, speaking of tourism, what's that rounded building over there? I've been wondering this whole time. That's the Astronomy Observatory. That's the place where you look at the stars, right? That's right. There's a very powerful telescope there that lets you see far more of them than you could with the naked eye. There are many who believe that astronomy is the discipline from which all others draw their roots, even if others disagree. It actually originated in the Central East, if you didn't know. Whoa, really? Pretty sure they were big on stargazing in that fallen empire to the east back in the day too. This is turning out to be very educational. Huh? So, where would you like to start? I'd be happy to show you around if you want. It's fine. We're just gonna wander around for a while and see what we find. If you can tell us where the main facilities and research labs are, that'd be plenty. Well, if you're sure, they're marked on the building's map already, but here you go. Well then, I got a work of my own to take care of, so I'll get going for now. If anything comes up, you're always welcome to contact me on my Zypha. Thanks. Aw, I was hoping we could stay with him longer. He knows so many cool things. I feel the same way, but it would be difficult. Yeah, he's just gonna get in the way when we start poking our noses around in dark places. I doubt we're gonna get any new First Brigands here, but here's hoping we can learn more about this abusive professor wherever they are. Let's get to work. Remember, to act casual and not make it obvious what we're here for. Understood. Alright, well, boom. I guess this is back to continue on with that quest we got. Alright, so we got 3 over here. I would have to... I think I have to go through here first.
This campus is just as big as I expected.
Let's take a look around. Gotta check out all the spots that kid mentioned.
Who are you? You're K. I'm a civil engineering major studying under Professor Tane. My family's over in the capital. It's a bit of a trip, but visiting them is a great excuse to do some field study. I haven't been back here in a while. It's a lot tenser than I remember it being. Something just doesn't feel right. She's a student here, huh? We should try talking to her. Let's do it.
Can we talk?
You are about to walk away from me, miss. A professor abusing their authority, you say? That's a bit of a stretch to me, not gonna lie. I can say for certain that Professor Cronkite and Professor Tane would never do that. It can't be them. Oh? What makes you so sure of that? Well, so Professor Cronkite's a man of few words, so he can come across as kind of scary. But he means well, really. I mean, he's one of the greatest minds of our time. He lives and breathes science. And then Professor Tane is really friendly to everybody. He's always looking out for people. He's known the world over his work in civil engineering and urban planning. The Basel Institute of Science certainly earns its reputation. Its faculty are all accomplished scientists and engineers in their own right. Yep, lots of famous people come to study and lecture here. Professor Callaghan's a real celebrity too. He's a real whiz when it comes to mechanical engineering. He's the brain behind the military's new weapons. Last I heard though, his new big proposal got shot down in favor of someone else's. He didn't really take that very well. But he's bounced back from what I can tell. He's really putting his all into his new project. I'm really humbled to get to work with so many hardworking and talented people. Hardworking and talented people can still be assholes. Are they good people is what we're asking. Could you maybe have phrased that a little less aggressively? Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. You were a big help. Never change, Aaron. Alright, let's see. We got him, and then, what's that, a lower floor? Or is that upstairs? Okay, hold on a second. I think upstairs? The map isn't so specific on where to go, but I have a feeling, is there another floor? Or is there someone here I can talk? Oh, there's someone here I can talk to already. Let's do that. Is it in this room? Hold on, if I go in this room... No. Is there another room here? Can I... Yeah, I can go through here. Just open the door. Venter. If you need anything from me, I'll just be reading here. We do have plenty of papers here, though I don't know enough about them to make any recommendations. Do handle them with care, though. They are very important papers. Sounds like plenty of students and faculty come his way. That tracks. Maybe he's overheard a word or two about the allegations. Let's find out.
Can we talk?
Huh, a power-tripping professor, you say? Well, if it were anybody, I'd put my money on Cronkite. He's awfully quick to dismiss people. Haughty in a word. Kind and helpful aren't exactly synonymous with him, at least from what I've seen and heard. I see. Have you heard anything about any of the other professors that might relate to these allegations? Let me think now. Well, I can't see Professor Orelay doing anything like that. She's just a bundle of sunshine, not a mean bone or body. Sometimes I even see her in here picking up research materials for her students. Then there's Professor Callaghan. He's always made it a point of helping out his assistants. He's certainly not a bad person in my view, but he's gotten a bit of a bad rap after his work went south. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We greatly appreciate it. Alright. So his is a little contradicting, I think. Maybe it's his opinion of how he feels about that professor in particular. Now, where... Hold on, if I go... Is that a lower level? Do I gotta go back down? Okay, what happens if I go here? And then I go... Okay, no, that's the observatory. I don't need to go there. I need to go... how am I gonna... Okay, I need to go through here. No, I can't. What? How? Okay, I went through here. Oh, okay. So I need to go through here. This place is huge, man. Okay.
This here feels so nice.
We go down through this way. And then, yep, alright. Found it. And, I would have to go through here.
Whoops.
Well, that certainly cut me off. Maybe I can go through here. Alright, and then go straight here. Oh, found them. Researcher Nadir. I work as an assistant in Professor Artret's lab over there. I've noticed some troubling things coming out of the other labs though. This one woman, she looked absolutely drained every day. I wish there was something I could do to help her, but I really shouldn't go butting into other labs' businesses. I just hope she has someone she can talk to, be it a coworker, professor, or someone else. That's a bit fishy there. Might have to ask him about that. Yeah, where are you going? Dude,
Can we talk?
I'm not done. That's so rude. Workplace harassment. Goodness. I've heard these bits and pieces, but I'm a bit nervous to talk about it. We won't tell anyone, don't worry. Anything helps. I've heard loud shouting from the other labs, yes. It stunned me out of work I was doing. I heard stuff like, "You idiots! Can't you do anything right?" And "You're a disgrace to the Institute. Get out!" He's just lashing out at everything and everyone now. It's really disturbing. Which professor was the one doing that? I just can't say it. Sorry. If they find out it was me, I'd have hell to pay. It's really gnawing at me. The abuse is only getting worse and worse from what I'm told. I've heard the works. Fatigue, depression, exhaustion, even a couple of researchers fainting on the job. That whole department looks visibly shaken these days. The stress is just too much for them. I worry they'll all end up like Cindy. Cindy? What happened to her? She's at her breaking point from what I hear. I hardly see her at the Institute anymore. We've all been trying to support her however we can, but it's rough. It really is. Damn. Yeah, that's not good. Who's the professor helping her out of curiosity? That would be Professor Esmeralda. She's in the bioengineering department. She's known the world over for her cutting-edge research. A real outstanding woman. She's always up to her neck in her own work, though. She probably doesn't know the extent of the abuse at the other labs. Yeah, thanks for filling us in. This still helps us a lot. Alright, I think we combined this area, not combined, pretty well now. Let's go sit down somewhere and try piecing things together. I recommend that open space at the front of the Institute grounds. I saw some benches there that we could use. Sounds like a plan to me. Where was it? Are you marked? Please tell me you're marked. Oh, you're marked all the way there. So can I just go through... Alright. You know, no one should have to suffer through that type of, boss, you know? I know there's a lot of jobs out there that have, like, those really, what you call, overt, I wouldn't say power-hungry bosses, but they're just very challenging to work with. Because they have, like, such high-strung personalities. And sometimes you can't even say anything about that because, well, guess what? You get fired. It's unfortunate. Okay, we're gonna rest up here. Alright, we're about ready to sit down and get cracking. Let's do it. Well, that was pretty good. We got our hands on some nice info there. We learned a lot of professors' names too. There's Professor Callaghan, the Engineering Science Authority, Professor Orelai in the Chemistry Department, Professor Cronkite, a well-respected expert in physics and orbital engineering, and Professor Tain, an architectural researcher. And then one Professor Esmeralda over in bio. They all sounded really capable, but of course the stat sheets don't tell the whole story. They all sounded like oddballs in their own right. I think we can pretty safely narrow the perp down to one of those 5. I agree, we have pretty strong evidence to suggest that. Alright, let's take our evidence from the top then. All the people we talked to, all the testimonies, they all had this one thing in common. Ah, I see what you mean. They tried to downplay the abuse. They had been threatened by the abuser. They didn't name the abuser. That's true, they didn't name the abuser. Not a single one named the culprit. Some of those guys knew who it was, but it sounded like they were too scared to name him. Would have made our job a hell of a lot easier if they just named the guy, but nope. Yeah, now that you mention it, that is kind of weird. I can understand not wanting to be labeled a snitch, but it felt like there was more to it than that. They were afraid of the culprit, but you could tell they respected him too. They didn't want to sully this professor's good name. And some people said the guy was always like that. Something changed them. Probably the conflict over the proposal we heard about. Something about hard feelings. That one guy said they had to crunch after the proposal fell through. Telltale sign of abuse to me. That does seem likely, though we can't say for certain what changed the professor's behavior. That would be a reasonable explanation. That said, no circumstance justifies such an abuse of power and status. This professor is truly incorrigible. So, that's who you think the culprit is? Yeah, you ask me, there's only one professor who fits the bill. Professor Callaghan, Professor Orelai, Professor Cronkite, Associate Professor Tane, Associate Professor Esmere. Oh, it's Callaghan. Professor Callaghan's our guy. He's one of the foremost authorities in engineering science, perhaps the smartest man in the whole field. I've seen him in the papers plenty of times before. He's always described as a savant. Notably, he helped modernize the military's weapons and equipment. But he's got revenge in the mind, sounds like. Some other professors one-upped him, and that's got him pissed. I get it sucks, but you'd think a world-renowned scientist would be less childish about it. You'd know a thing or two about acting like a child, wouldn't you? I don't know, you usually call me Grandpa. Which is it? Which is it, bud? Is now the time. So, what do we do now? We have all the recordings of the people we talked to. That all points to Professor Callaghan being the suspect. So what's our next move? Do we hunt down our client next and give them the tapes? Nah, I'm thinking we get Professor Callaghan's opinion on it without accusing him directly. We nudge him in the right direction and he might just turn himself in. What do you mean? Simple. We tell him about these abuse rumors going around, we talk about all these exhausted students, and he connects the dots on his own. Feeling that, well, we already know it's him. He's bound to figure out his reputation's on the line. The more he hears about this, if he's smart, he'll fess up. So that's what we do. We give him a subtle little nudge, and he does all the work. Elsheim won for us. 2 birds with 1 stone right there. That sounds really scheming. I'm not so sure we're the good guys all of a sudden. Well, it is quintessentially Spriggan-like way of solving our problem. Fine by me, to the Power Tripper's lab then. Actually, where is it? I don't remember seeing it while we were taking our tour. I suspect it's in the Special Research Building. We'd need some form of clearance to enter, of course. We passed by a door with a guard in front earlier. They won't let any ordinary civilian inside. I suspect we need an A-rank card at the very least. It was hard enough for us to get a C-rank card. I think getting an A-rank one is off the table. What should we do then? Maybe wait for him to leave the building and ambush him? Nah, all Van's the man with a plan. All that matters is that we get inside the building. Doesn't matter how we do it. And being a Spriggan, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. Van, you're kind of scaring me with that smile there. We defer to you. What's your strategy, Master Spriggan? I like how Rosette's in on it. Or not in on it, but she's with it. You know, she's all for it. Everyone else is nervous. Well, except for Aaron, of course. He doesn't care. So first, we just roll up in the building like anybody else would. Once we get there, we convince the guard to let us in. Just act naturally and we're golden. That it? Alright, well, first and foremost, let me save. If it's that easy, I won't worry as much. Alright. Who's our main guard? Alright. Then we go. Hold on, is he up top? Is he up top? Hold on. Is he up top? Nah, I think he's down. I will never. Let's see if I can get the handle of this place. Just straight ahead, right? Oh, just right here? Psh! Excuse me, is this where we can find Professor Callaghan? We're here to speak with him. Right, yes, may I see your card, sir? Of course. Ben handed over his certification card. C rank? I'm sorry, but I can't let you in without the proper security clearance. If you don't mind me asking, what business do you have with him to begin with? Glad you asked. We're here on behalf of the Principality of Elsheim. We figured there was an appointment for us, but we just now found out they didn't set anything up. Sorry for the inconvenience. We wanted to inquire about Professor Callaghan's new research. It's caught our investors' interest. His findings have seismic implications. Even the Zypha revolution would be small potatoes compared to this. So we looked into meetings with him and collaborating on his research, only to learn that Marduk was interested in the same thing. So now we got ourselves a 3-way partnership here. I'm here on the Marduk company's behalf. I'm a concierge in their employ. So, you're meeting with him to discuss a grant, is that right? I'm a bit surprised to hear both Elsheim and Marduk are collaborating on this, but, well, stranger things have happened, I guess. You know what's strange is the fact that this girl's coat just moved and there's no wind here. Agnes has a weird coat. I apologize for the inconvenience. That said, who are these children with you? Surely they're not employees. Pardon? I'm not a kid, I'm just short. They're associates of an Elsheim VIP, pardon them. They're here on Elsheim's behalf as well, so they were looking to sit in our meeting. This is a little awkward though. We came all the way from Elsheim just to get turned away at the door in a technicality. I'm not sure what to tell them when we get back home. I really am sorry. There's clearly been some kind of a mix-up here. Your arrangement might have been lost in the shuffle with all the Aramis students visiting. You must have been issued the same rank card as them by mistake. I'll go clear this up with Professor Callaghan. 1 minute, please. Of course. We'll be waiting. You sure you're okay with him calling your bluff? Of course. Who's he to turn down grant money? That ain't what we're really here for, but he just has to take the bait. Thank you for your patience. The professor would like to meet with you at once. Go right in. Thank you very much. And just like that, we're in. I can't believe you managed to deceive your way past someone again. Hey, nothing I said was a lie. Not my fault if someone else takes what I said the wrong way. Bet you tell yourself that every single time, huh? Yeah, you must be a real pro at this. I mean, it's not something to be proud of. As your sudden embarrassment suggests. I wish you would at least stop to think about the bad influence you might be having on Fairy.
So you're trying to blame all of this on me, are you?
Not at all. I'm in no way trying to suggest your latest research is the cause. If anything, the approach you're taking with your latest project rather fascinates me.
Does it now?
That being said, work on my own project has reached a critical juncture. I cannot afford any issues with net traffic at this time.
That certainly sounds like blame to me, Cronkite. You may be one of Professor Hamilton's students, but that doesn't give you the right to...
So sorry for the delay. Oh? Who the devil are you? This is a restricted area, you know. Not to worry, we have permission to be here. Could either of you direct us to Professor David Callaghan's office? Ah, so you're the ones I just heard about. We're finished here, Cronkite. Now if you would all follow me. Yang, Professors Cronkite and Callaghan. Huh? Funny running into you guys here. Whoops. We could say the same thing. Mr. Arkwright, do you have business here? Katra, what are you doing here, Salishan? And who are these people with you? They are students here on educational visitation from the capital. I've been assisting them during their stay. Professor Cronkite was gracious enough to extend us an invitation to visit him when we happened to see each other in town. So we asked Mr. Salishan if he could lead the way. I do not believe I invite anyone but you, nor did I imply we should meet quite this soon. But I suppose chasing you away here would be more work than just humoring you. Very well, follow me. Really? It would be nothing short of incredible to see your work up close, Professor Cronkite. Huh. Well, we'll get off your hair now. We apologize for the interruption. I can see that you're very busy, but it would be a pleasure to speak more on another occasion, Professor Callaghan. Oh. I suppose that can be arranged. She saved our hides. It must be nice to have enough free time to spend on such frivolous nonsense as educational visitations. Well, come with me. I want to make this brief. Of course, Professor.
Wait! I'd like to listen in on this conversation too, if you don't mind. As their guide, I suspect it has everything to do with me.
Take a 10-minute break. Do not return late.
Yes, Professor. Excuse us. They look haggard. And anxious.
As you know, my name is David Callaghan. I believe you're here to talk about Elsyme and Marduk investing in my research. That makes for a very interesting combination, if you don't mind me saying. What exactly led to this?
Is that what you were told? There seems to have been a misunderstanding then. We are currently working for Elsyme, and we do have a Marduk employee with us, but that's all. What? We're currently in the middle of an investigation, you see, and a lead happened to bring us here. I wanted to follow up on a rumor that some extreme abuse of power has been taking place in the laboratory here. That's the face of a guy who's got something to tell. Who asked you to investigate this? Couldn't tell you, didn't leave their name, but they did tell us all about what's been happening. We've heard all about the ridiculous workloads and insane hours they and their colleagues have been forced to endure. About how they've never allowed any rest, are woefully underpaid, and they have received vicious, constant verbal abuse from their superior. Even to the point that someone collapsed from overwork and has been driven to the brink of suicide. That's just... We have all the testimony and evidence we need to act if that's what it comes to. But we thought it better to come and hear your thoughts first. Excuse me? It's not too late to turn things around. So many people we spoke to were quick to say that you weren't always like this. They mentioned how they almost had trouble believing just what you've become. We could see how afraid people are of you now and how they dislike what you've become. But at the same time, we could see how deeply they respect you too. We're not heroes of justice like the cops or the guild. We're just about finding common ground and putting things to right. As long as you're willing to work with us, we can... That is enough! Don't talk to me about respect and then immediately resort to blackmail. I cannot believe one of my assistants would try to set me up like this. Unbelievable. I give them a golden chance to help me obtain glory beyond their imagination, and this is how they choose to repay me? How could you say that? You know, we've got evidence on what you're doing, right? Sure you want to pick this fight? Do what you will with your evidence. All I have to do is cover it up. No one's gonna believe some lowly assistant over an esteemed professor. Professor? I am two mere steps away from completing my research, and they pick now to sabotage my efforts? Very well, then damn the human costs. I'll start working them to the bone to make up for their...
Just listen to yourself, Professor! What has gotten into you? You used to be so kind and supportive. Professor Hamilton held you in such high regard. Even though I was one of her students, you would still take the time to look after me. I just can't understand why all you do lately is spit in the face of her achievements.
Catra. I suspected as much.
Sorry. That's a private matter between us. But please, at least stop and think about how you're treating the people who work under you. They took their positions because they dreamed of being like you. Don't belittle them or their work.
Salesian. Don't tell me what I can and can't do, you third-rate apprentice!
Wow. Right in front of us, too. If we didn't have proof before, we do now. Catra, what do you think you're doing? Listen, asshole.
You're talking to the famous David Callaghan, the preeminent scholar of engineering science and military technology, who has long upheld the very foundation of this nation's national defense. I've had enough of youngsters like Cronkite and Esmeralda acting like they're above me after all I've achieved. My latest research will propel Calvert to even greater heights, change the power balance of the entire continent. Why can no one understand just how much of a privilege it is to help with that?
Professor.
Well, you're free to have whatever lofty goals you want. But I think we've had our 10 minutes, don't you? Oh. We came here to explain the situation and offer a solution we thought would benefit everyone. You're welcome to try and cover up all the evidence and testimonies we've gathered, but I promise you, it ain't gonna be easy. If you're as close to this revolution as you claim to be, then I'd give it another thinking through if I were you. Huh, I am done wasting time with you. I will be raising the issue of your illegal trespassing and appalling brazenness with Mr. Talsend. I admit that I may have been a little too harsh, but as long as you intend to cling to Professor Hamilton instead of aiming for something more, I have no interest in you. Unless you now see the benefits of developing your talent under me after all. I would wager that would be a far better use of your time than waiting like a little girl for an old woman who's long gone. Excuse me? Catra! Pardon us.
Like a little girl.
There you are.
So this is what it looks like inside, huh?
It's so cool seeing the observatory. Is that the telescope?
That's right. Professor Hamilton had it specially made.
I'm sorry you had to witness that earlier, but I'm impressed you knew where to find me. Just had a feeling. We're happy to forget what we saw as long as you forget about us forcing our way into the research building. Van, behave. You can go ahead and have a seat over there. I'll go make us some tea. So there aren't actually any astronomy professors here? Not at the moment. I'm the only one who comes here every day right now. But there was a time when quite a few researchers and students who all adored Professor Hamilton would come. Even Professor Callaghan would from time to time. Oh. He never used to be like he is now. He's always seen Professor Hamilton as a rival, sure. But it used to be the friendly kind of rivalry that was beneficial to both sides. He taught me so much too. He really must have changed then. Yeah. From that to the uptight abusive asshole we saw earlier, some kind of fall. Professor Hamilton left the Republic 2 years ago, if I recall. And you're one of her students. That's right. I owe more to her than I can ever hope to repay. I've been looking after the observatory in her house since she left the country. Though, I think it's debatable whether I'm doing a good job of it. The CEO of Vern, Mr. Talsend, is also one of the directors on the Institute's board. And he told me that he's considering shutting this place down because so few people are using it. Oh no. So that's why you've been doing all kinds of miscellaneous tasks to score points with him. That's awful. I really am sorry about earlier though. I ended up interfering in your investigation by jumping in, didn't I? If I hadn't said anything. Don't sweat it, we ended up getting some useful info out of that whole outburst. My guess is you've noticed this by now too. But his piss poor attitude isn't the only bad thing going on with him. You really think so? I have the same feeling. It would explain why someone so respected has stooped to such irrational behavior. Feels like the question is, what is he trying to do that he's willing to go so far off the deep end for it? The computer hardware in his laboratory was state of the art. I suspect he's using it to perform vast calculations, the kind that would be equally difficult to properly manage. I agree. I've never seen a simulation of this extent before, and it seemed that it wasn't getting the results he wanted. He couldn't be. No, but that would... I see now. Well, we better keep an eye on that guy for a while. We ain't in Basel for that long, but we're gonna be here for the next couple of days at least. Feels like we can afford to scratch each other's backs a bit, yeah? Whether that CEO wants us to or not. Alright, I do have my doubts about you, but I believe that Agnes is worthy of my trust. Oh, of course, Agnes has your trust. I wonder why. So if anything comes up, I'll be sure to let you know. To keep up with the professor left behind safe, it's nothing else. If nothing else. Nothing comes from not being honest with yourself, you know? We'll be counting on you, Catra. Sure seems like he's being honest with himself to me. Not trusting you is the right call. Oh, you're very much in the same boat with how boorish you are. Excuse me? Trying to pick a fight, kiddo? That's only proving my point, you know. Are you interested in the telescope? I was just wondering what it's like, that's all. It's only just past 5 o'clock, so we won't be getting a great view of the stars quite yet. But come with me. You still might be able to get a good view of the great shed our triangle. Really? Yay! Aw. Of course the two kids of the group would hit it off. You're also still a damn kid from my perspective. By the way, Agnes, was it just me or did you seem surprised by something when the professor was shouting up a storm? It wasn't just you. I cannot believe one of my assistants would try to set me up like this. Unbelievable. I give them the golden chance to help me obtain glory beyond their imagination, and this is how they choose to repay me? So it picked Den of all times to shine? It's not doing it now though. Do you think it could just be a coincidence? You gotta wonder. Not like it'd be the first time it's shown at an odd time, like when we first ran into Grimcat.
Whoa! What's this room for? Odette? What brings you all here?
Found you! We've been looking for all of you. We couldn't find you anywhere in the main building, so we wondered if you might be here.
Sorry for putting you guys out.
Well, not all of us are here for you.
So this is their giant telescope. I've seen one in the Imperial Museum too, but it's so cool.
Oh, can we take a look through it?
It's nice seeing this place this lively again. It's been so long.
Well, we'll be going back to our hotel now. Sure thing. Try not to stay up too late just because no one's keeping an eye on you. That telescope was amazing though, wasn't it? I wish you could have had another look through it before we left. How about you come and walk around with us on the last day, Fairy? Love to have you. Really? Your work sounds amazing, so I'd like that a lot. I'll just leave playtime to the kids then. I'm more in the market for a place centered to adults. Hell, you want to join in on the fun, Four Eyes? I would never want to go to such a place. That sounds like it'd be kind of fun in its own way. Yeah, it was nice to finally meet the famous Rosette too. Maybe we could talk some more another... Oh yes, I would like that very much indeed. Yay, then it's happening. Did you notice? Yeah. You managed to learn anything on your end? I'm afraid not. We heard something interesting from that genius professor, but that's about it. I'm not gonna have much free time here, however, so I'm gonna have to leave it to the nose of yours this time. Dumping all the work on me, huh? Great. Ah, here's the tram. And we bid you all farewell. I should be able to meet you tomorrow morning at around 8 o'clock. I know it's a little early for good nights, but I hope you all have one regardless. Same to you. See you tomorrow. Sleep tight. So, what's eating away at you, phony maid?
Huh?
Is something up? Can't hide a thing from him.
I should have realized I wouldn't be able to keep my concerns a secret. To tell you the truth, I'm getting a peculiar sense of deja vu from what's happening here in Basel.
Deja vu? Your main job is being a concierge, but you also handle crisis management all over the country, right? So, which does this orbital net and distribution network issue make you think of more? Liberl 6 years ago, or Crossbell 4 years ago?
You're proving perceptive and knowledgeable beyond belief.
I'm sure I've heard both of those things before, but... yeah, I think Sal's mentioned them at some point too. The former was when all orbital power was shut off by the appearance of an ancient floating city. The latter was when the orbital network was used to perform a man-made miracle. I never witnessed them firsthand, so there's a lot of gaps in what I know. But both were caused by things you wouldn't think could exist. Man, I think you'd made both events up if I didn't know better. I know what happened a year and a half ago in Crossbell, and that's just batshit crazy on paper. Oh, when the whole continent was hacked or whatever the word is?
I'm afraid I can't answer most of your questions because they would contain classified information. However, I believe this may end with a crisis different from the ones that Mr. Arkwright mentioned.
Huh. Well, Miss Perfect's Genesis started glowing again, there's bound to be something. No way descends without giving us a headache. Yeah, we're gonna need to be ready for trouble. You gotta head out somewhere now, right? I'll come with you if you want.
Again, you are perceptive beyond belief.
We might have only met in person recently, but I've known you for a real long time now. Whenever you stumble on a major problem brewing, you gotta report to HQ, right?
Correct. What is happening here certainly falls under Code E of our regulations. But I see no harm in having someone with me during my report. We could also patrol the area at the same time. Does that sound all right?
More than alright. Let's get going. Wait! It's not just you two, you know. Don't even think of leaving us out. I don't mind taking one of you, but the other's gonna have to stay behind. Someone will need to be available if Agnes or that boy we met decide to call. Right, that makes sense. Fine. And come on, who are you taking? Alright, select one additional member to accompany Van and Rosette. They can be swapped out later using the computer in the hotel. I think this time we'll take Aaron. Barry can stay. So, where do we have to go to even give this report? Your company HQ is so far away, I would have thought you just called them. There's a bit of a process involved for security reasons. For starters, we need to lead the city toward the canyon. This needed to take priority over any other work you would like to do, however. I see now. Got it. We'll head over once we've walked around a little then.